Welcome to today's webinar. The topic today is news in Rfem 6 and Rstab 9. In today's webinar, we will show you features that we have implemented in the last year, in our add-ons, in our programs, our main programs, Rfem 6 and Rstab 9, and in our standalone programs. And that's the last webinar for the year 2025. My name is Andreas Hörold. I'm responsible for marketing and public relations in the company Dlubal Software. For instance, German and English webinars, technical content of the website, customer projects, and so on. I will be the moderator today, and I will be also the presenter. And my two colleagues will support me. We will answer your questions during the webinar. This is Michelle Rosin. She works also in the marketing team. And Sandy Matula is hired in our company in the customer support team. Then I say something how you can ask questions, at least for the attendees who participate the first time. But first I switch off my webcam that you can see the full screen. Just press the button with the question mark if you have a question, then enter your question in that field, press send, and my two colleagues will receive your question and they will answer you. The other way is to watch the entire webinar and then email your question to info@dlubal.com. To the agenda today, at first, I will show you new features in Rfem 6. Of course, the most of them are also valid for Rstab 9. But as you know, if there are solids or surfaces, then it's only valid for Rfem 6. Then I show you new features in the add-ons and the standalone programs. Then I show you new add-ons and I look in the future at the end of the webinar. Let's start with the features in Rfem 6. First, the result points. You can set such result points very easily on surfaces, solids, and also in the space for our wind. Then I show that in Rfem 6. In Rfem 6, can you find the result points in the navigator data and under result objects? If you right-click on result points, then you can select new result point. Then select any point in the system. And then the surface is detected automatically, as you can see. And you can see the new result point. Also here in the folder under result points. And much more easy is to use that button above, new result point, and can easily set certain result points. And they are also here. And if you want, you can delete any surface result point. Okay, that's all for this feature. We turn to the next feature, back to the PowerPoint. New is the calculation diagram monitor. You can use that, for example, for dynamic analysis or something like that. Then the thickness type wall shear free. If you want to use, for example, a masonry wall in a 3D model, and it shouldn't stiffen, as the system shouldn't be stiffened because of the masonry wall, then you can use such a wall shear free. Then the new member type result line. It's the same function as for the result members, but you don't need to define a cross section. Only the result line and the area that you select will be integrated. For this area, the results will be integrated in the result line. Then error messages for invalid and deactivated objects. You can see the error message before the calculation. I will show that in the program. The same model. It's a model of reinforced concrete. And if we switch to the concrete design, where are all members and surfaces are selected, and also the nodes with punching. Makes no sense in that case. We don't have a support in the middle, for example, of the surface. So, and then you can see under overview where are the error messages before you calculate the model. And for example, if we deselect all the punching nodes, then also there's no error message. Okay, then next feature. Life cycle of design results. The results will not be deleted if you want, but they are declared as invalid. And when the calculation is restarted, only the invalid results are updated. I would like to show you that also in the program on another model. For example, for this model, the timber design of the purlins was already done. And if you change the settings for one of these or for all, for example, I enter or change the service class from moist to wet, then all results would be deleted. We don't do that at the moment. At first, I turn to the timber design here, right click on it, then settings. And if I don't want to delete the results, I have to uncheck this. This was the default setting, with check, and I uncheck this. So, and now when I change to wet, the results won't be deleted, but they are declared as invalid. And if I recalculate all again, then the invalid results will be overwritten. Often with wished features from our customers. So then the next one. You can now log in via your Microsoft account. Then parametric cross sections that you parameterized in our section can you use in Rfem 6 and Rstab 9, that's clear. But the parameters can be changed directly in the main programs, Rfem and Rstab. I would like to show that as well. That's a parameterized cross-section in our section. Take a look at the parameters. They are changeable. So, and you can do that here, of course, but also in the main program. So I change to that model. The parameterized cross-section is used. So, and if I double click on it, then I can change the parameters here. Yeah, and you can see all will be changed. Okay, then the next feature. Yeah, the Dlubal API is new, the gRPC. It's up to 15 times faster than traditional technologies such as SOAP or REST. Then use also the member type cable on pulleys. Yeah, we had this feature already in Rfem 5, but now it's also available in Rfem 6. Yeah, and you can simulate ropes that are guided over pulleys. I showed it also in the program on the next model. Yeah, you can see that simple model. At the moment, it's only a cable. Yeah, and you can see the internal force, 20 kilonewton, is only in this member here. And if I change both from cable to cable on pulleys, and then I recalculate all, then the internal force of 20 kilonewton should be in both members. Yeah, also in the diagonal member here. Okay. Next feature, nodal link type for nodes. Yeah, nodes are automatically connected by to neighboring objects. I would like to show that also in the program. Yeah, you should or you can use that when you import models from a CAD program, for example. Let's show that on the example. So imagine this model was imported from a CAD program, and if you change to switch to the wireframe model, sorry, you can see the members are not connected. Yeah, and you can do that quite easily when you select, for example, all the nodes, then right-click on one node, edit. So and then link, that's the new feature, link to nearby objects. So I have to create a new nodal link, connect or link to members. Then you can enter a search radius, press OK. So and now all is connected by rigid members. So and what you also can do is, just a moment, I do that also only for these two nodes. New nodal link, and you can do the same steps here, and you can enter a member hinge if you want. For example, this one, this member hinge. Okay, and now there are member hinges. Yeah, a good feature, to select more nodes, not only these ones that I used. Maybe a larger model, and you can do that automatically. The connection between the members. So then the next feature. Hierarchy between load transfer surfaces and floors. That's, for example, for certain walls usable. Then you can watch at the graphic of the deformation results during the calculation with that button here. Snow overhang and snow guard can be taken into account for the Eurocode. Then you can use user-defined textures. For example, you made a presentation for the architect or for the owner, and you would like to use certain textures. You can use them. Then the import and export of Excel tables is possible, and you can customize the options for the data exchange. I would like to show that also in the program. So on the next model, you can change the settings here. The setting dialog for the export-import table. For example, you can select or export also the table header, and those are the other options. So, and then you can export to Excel. What is also new is export to JSON. So I export it to Excel. That will take some seconds the first time. I already switched to Excel. So, and the table was created. You can do that also for another table, maybe the notes. Okay. Then we wait in Excel. So also this table was transferred. So then turn back to the slides. New is the RTF export of the printout report. And you can export it, of course, also in a PDF or HTML file. And RTF can, for example, be used in Microsoft Word. Then the scaffolding support is also new, Rfem 6 and Rstab 9. Then the link type for lines, similar feature as the node connection that I just showed you, the nodal link. If you have, for example, two surfaces, a slab and a wall, you can connect them with the same procedure that I showed for the nodal link. Then multiple combination wizards are possible now. I showed it also in the program. So, for example, this model. Sorry, that was not the right model. That model. So let me switch to. Okay, so then you have to enter or open the load cases and combinations dialog. And then that is the new feature. Additional standard groups for the combination wizard. If I press here, I can select up to 5 standards. For example, for cranes and geotechnics and so on. It depends what you like to design in your model. For example, here cranes and the foundations. Okay, so then we turn back to the slides. You can round node coordinates. For example, when you imported a model from a CAD program, and there are many decimal places, then you can round that coordinates. Then user material library is also new. You can define your own material. For example, you import material from the database and change it according your material, what you like to define. Then parametric rebar cross-sections is also new. Then you can export DXF of a 3D scene. What you set in Rfem will be supported. I will show that also in the program. This time on this model. If you don't want to support the nodal supports and the openings and so on, you have to deselect them. I will do that in the navigator display. For example, also the nodes, I deselect the nodes, then the openings. That means only the line around the opening, and the nodal supports. So then right click, export 3D scene to DXF. Okay. So, and then I turn to a CAD program, and this time, in this case, Allplan. I import this model or this DXF. Okay, the set coordinate, it is upstairs, upwards, but I can mirror all. It's no problem. So, and now you can see all what you wanted to export. You can now work in the CAD program with that model or with the lines. So then we turn back to the presentation. That's a feature for America. The torsional moment due to wind is implemented or was implemented. Then the new member type load transfer transfers loads directly to the connected objects. And it has no stiffness. I showed it also for in the program when I showed you the Excel export. Also JSON is possible. Then the Dlubal Center with API script management. You have different examples already here, and you can use them or create your own API scripts and manage them in the Dlubal Center. So now we turn to the features in the add-ons. Features in the steel joints add-on. Those are the first features. Definition of circular bolt or anchor layout. You can see that in the image here. Then you can transfer foundation dimensions in the base plate design. When you designed foundation in the concrete foundation add-on, then it can be transferred to the steel joints add-on. You can display the graphic of the contact stresses, then component fastener with anchor in concrete block is new. Then the shear lugs are now available. For example, I, H, U sections and so on can you use there. Then through bolt design in steel joints according to American and also Eurocode 3 standard. And you can also export the 3D lines of the steel joints. It's a similar workflow as I showed in the program for the hull. Then preliminary design of steel joints. The advantage is the acceleration of the design process. This preliminary design. Then there are also more than the often used diameters are available now from M6 to M64, not only from M12 to M36. Then you are also the hook anchors and headed anchors. Those are headed anchors in the image here, but also hook anchors are available. Then the features in the geotechnical analysis add-on. The member type anchor is available. Then the constrained modulus method is also available now. And the new is the generation of soil layers. Okay. Then the design, timber design add-on, the beam panel, semi-rigid joint of sheeting for the different standards. Then the design of compression perpendicular to grain at nodes with several members. Imagine you have a node where more than one member is connected. Then you can select the different members that are will be considered for this design. Then features in the steel joints, steel design add-on. You can now analyze code-formed sections. And new is the partial internal forces method for the plastic design according to Eurocode. Then, the design of surfaces is now possible. Also for the aluminium the surfaces. Then the critical steel temperature for fire resistance design can also be used now for the design according Eurocode 3.1.2 and this paragraph. And you can design longitudinal filled welds according to Eurocode 3. We can also, I will also show that in the program. I show that in a model what was designed. So imagine those are HE120A. And we would like to change that cross-section to a welded cross-section. So I go to the library, thin weld. The parameters of the previous cross-section were proposed now here. I use them, but I have to change the manufacturing type to welded. So, and I can enter a weld here. Okay. Then I have to activate the weld design in the navigator data under steel design. I have to change the ultimate configuration. And I have to check here design of longitudinal filled welds, perform design. You can use the correlation factor according to Eurocode, or you can enter a user-defined correlation factor. The factor depends on the material. this case, it's 0.8 for S235. Okay, so then we run the steel design. Yeah, all load cases and combinations are redesigned or recalculated, but with the multi-core calculation, it takes only some seconds. So then let's turn to the results. So, and you can see I have to select the ratios by cross-section. Okay, that's the right cross-section. And you can see let me check. Here, section-proof design of governing longitudinal field weld. Can double-click on it. That's the formula. Yeah, you can see the correlation factor here, 0.8, and the design ratio. Yeah, and you can print the design check and the formulas in the printout report or directly in the printer. So then we turn back to the presentation. Features in the add-on: steel design, glass design, aluminum design, and timber design. The features: serviceability, minimum or maximum relative absolute value. As an example, you have a single span beam. The maximum deformation should be L divided by 300, but also the maximum the deformation should be, for example, 20 millimeters. Yeah? And you can define this value now also here. So then features in the add-on: concrete design and push-over analysis. The plastic hinges, according to the American standards. Standards are now available. Then concrete design, design strips, design strips. That's also a feature for the American users. Then the rebar member type is also available. There's an automatic connection function to other elements, surfaces, and so on. Then the punching reinforcement types, according to the American and Canadian standards, we will implement such bolts and so on also for the European standard. That's planned. Then the features in the concrete design add-on: foundation type bucket foundation, that's new. Then also the definition of the multi-layered soil massive, and you can import the soil from borehole for foundations. I will show you these three features in the program. So that's the latest model for today. I click on one foundation here. There are the different types here. Foundation plate, then without reinforcement, then the block foundation with smooth bucket sides or rough bucket sides, and quite new is the bucket foundation with smooth bucket sides and rough bucket sides. Block foundations, bucket foundations. And we will implement also the stepped foundations. You can't define design properties. It's in progress. So, and then in the soil properties, you can use define types multi-layered soil massive and multi-layered borehole. Those are the new features. Okay, let's turn back to the presentation. Features in the construction stages, analysis add-ons. Yeah, you can modify design properties for the different construction stages. Then features in the non-linear material behavior add-on. You can use the non-linear material model for reinforced concrete. Those are the new material types. Anisotropic damage, isotropic plastic, isotropic nonlinear elastic. And you can use them for the nonlinear reinforced concrete design. Then new in the time history analysis add-on is the nonlinear time history analysis, where are different solvers for Rfem and Rstab. Then new in the glass design add-on, the glass composition model. Then you can do a glass design according to the American standard as well, and of course also the German standard. Then you can use NURBS surfaces. Now you are very flexible with the surfaces of the glasses. And you can design user-defined glass solids. Then features in Rwind and Rfem. The wind analysis with ice loads is now possible. Then the transient boundary condition at the tunnel inlet. Then you can show the streamlines, not only in Rwind, but also in Rfem. And use also the shrink wrapping and surface roughness and surface permeability. Then features in our section, the cross-section definition with welds is possible. Our section is now can be connected to the API. You can see that also in the client server, not only for Rfem 6 and Rstab 9, also for our section now. Then we turn to the new add-ons. That's the tendons add-on. It's currently in the beta status, but it works already fine. We have already 2 customer projects, and they used the tendons add-on, and got very good results. Then the digital twins that enable sensors and their measurement data to be stored in the model. Then the cutting patterns add-on, also in the beta version. That's quite new, but we were still working on it. So then we turn to the last point for today, the prospect. That was the plan that I showed 1 year ago. For this year and the future, we implemented all the green features. I showed you some of them, the cable pulleys on members and so on. So, and that's the plan from now for the next year and the next years. Let me explain only some features. For example, the Maya extension. That's a modeling support. We will implement a voice control. And for example, you can say, move the model from here to there. Then automatic imperfections. That's you can approach imperfections according to the stability analysis automatically. That will be quite easy to handle. So then slope stability for the geotechnical analysis. And then as I already said, the anchor bars for punching shear according to Eurocode, not only for the American standard. Then the BRB elements, aluminum and steel joints design according to the Canadian standard. Automatic dimensioning of connections. Then we will update the GeoZone tool. It's an update of the user interface that will be more powerful. Then bracing surfaces. It will be a global object without supports. So then, library for live loads. Foundation design according to the American standard. Then the approach of required reinforcement for serviceability, also often wished features from our users. Also the automatic design of bar reinforcement. Then we will improve the calculation performance. Then the earthquake design will be implemented for solid structures according to Eurocode 8. Then welds in the add-ons. You can, for example, generate surfaces from a member and the line welded joints will be created automatically. So then I showed you also, that's also an important feature, wind load generation on irregular buildings, not only on rectangular buildings. It will be also possible for such buildings. Then stepped foundations, I showed that in the program. User-defined cross-sections, for example, the design of multi-web hollow box sections will be possible. Then masonry design, it will be a simplified stress-based analysis. Then MCP server, automatic connection of external programs will be possible. Then you can define license groups for your add-ons, for example, and your users. Then frequency response analysis will be implemented. Dlubal calcs for simple applications, for example, continuous beams, columns, etc. Then RWind 4, that's a new program generation. Then we will implement the second generation of the Eurocodes, and also the RWE material. So those are resulting volume elements that opens the material models, for example, for solids or textiles, etc. Those are then will be possible. Okay, that should be all for the 4 points for today. At the end of the webinar, I have an additional hint for you. You can book our Rfem 6 course, for example, our online course for beginners, and the other online courses for the Eurocodes, for example, Eurocode 2 for the reinforced concrete design with Rfem 6, the Eurocode 3 course for the steel design with Rfem 6, Eurocode 5 for the timber design, and Eurocode 8 for the earthquake design. Then, maybe an additional hint to the courses, you can get such a course for free when you send us a customer project. And after publishing the customer project, you can get such a course for free. Just send me an email to info@dlubal.com and write you back what I need for files and so on. It will be won't be much work for you, I promise. So then the free online services, for example, the Dlubal community, where we are already a lot of our users. Just join that Dlubal community. You can ask questions there, and we or our users will answer you. Then the geozone tool for the determination of snow, wind, and earthquake loads. You can use the cross-section properties on our website. Then you can download 3D models. As template, for example, for your project. If you don't have already our programs, Rfem 6 or Rstab 9, you can download the 90-day trial version, also for our wind and our section. And you can scan the QR code or click on that button here. Then you can see all our free online or free services. More information can you find on our website, dlubal.com. Knowledge base articles. You can ask Maya, our AI assistant, all the time, 24/7, and she will answer you. Okay, that should be all for today. I thank you for your attention. Thanks to Michelle and Sandy for answering the questions. I wish you all Merry Christmas and a good start in the year 2026. I hope we meet each other in a webinar in the next year. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.